All right, welcome. We are going to do a draft this evening. It's a slow Saturday night. Had a little bit of hard time wrangling everybody up here together, but we're going to give it a shot. We got a Superflex rookie mock draft, and we are getting ready to go. And I am joined tonight by the one, the only Frito.
Richard
Say
Gonzalez,
hello.
Rito Bandito. Follow me at R Gonzalez RM. Happy to join you,
All
man.
right. And luckily you also have the 101, so that makes it really nice here for me to start off, and we're going to go.
All right, so obviously being super flex, I am going with Trevor Lawrence. Make the easy pick and then see how everything falls back to me.
All right, so it's super flex popular this year for everyone just to go straight up like quarterbacks. So we'll see what these guys want to do. I don't have much doubts about Trevor Lawrence, like NFL wise, but what do we think about? Like I'm curious about the idea that year one at least, and even a couple of years in, he's not going to actually be the best fantasy quarterback producer out of this class. What do you think about that?
Yeah, not true. I'm really interested to see how he does transition into Florida. I mean, Myers obviously knows how to run an offense and work around him and everything, but it just seems like the way he played in college. I just don't know how that's going to translate. So it's going to be real interesting uh, to see how he does because he ain't going to want to run as much as he was with those read options and everything that he was doing.
Yeah, but I think didn't they had a weird year though. Like 2 years ago, he was throwing it downfield a whole lot more. And this past year, they had people holding out because of COVID and everything. So they had to like completely change up their offense and doing those RPO more run style, right? From what I understand.
I can see that. I can see stuff like that. I mean, the first 2 years that I watched him and stuff like that, yeah, just like what you were saying, he was throwing a lot. It was weird watching it this year and everything. And I guess you make a good point as far as what you were saying as far as with COVID and everything, and they had to change it up and everything. I just he got the running back in Jacksonville and stuff like that. So I'm just hoping he doesn't run as much. His body just doesn't seem built for the NFL yet.
Yeah, that's just what I heard from guys like J Mike, who was just on. He took Trey Lance as the third. We got Jamar Chase as early as the third pick. And that's actually pretty interesting. Trey Lance being the third quarterback, that's interesting. It's been a lot of Zach Wilson I've seen. I like that. I've done Trey Lance third in a mock draft we did a couple of weeks ago as well. Um, yeah, that's Jamar Chase though. That early, that's pretty. I don't hate it though with the weak how weak running backs seem to be. I don't hate it.
It just seems like receivers are transitioning so well these last 2 3 years, and it just makes more sense now than taking running backs. Unless you're, like I said, unless Najee Harris was there and said like right there, to me that's a solid pick. But going after that, I feel more comfortable with receivers going into the NFL. As far as rookies.
Yeah. Well, there he goes, Najee Harrison. Right after the Etienne. I'm not sure I've seen Etienne as quite that early. I guess 6 isn't super early, but usually seems more like he's 7, 8, 9. Um, Granted,
Yeah,
one of
there
those
goes Brian.
leagues, the guy loved Javante and took him like second running back overall. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. So we haven't seen any Zach Wilson. No love for Zach Wilson. No love for Mac Jones, even though they might be going to the two of the better spots. There's
Dang,
Kyle Pitts by you,
look at look
Byron.
look at you.
And I get a quarterback at 110. What is going on? Which
Yeah,
one do I take
you won't see
though?
that very often.
No, I can't imagine you're going to see this much. And I don't know, guys. I hope, you know, the settings got all messed up and the list on the ADP, you set it to two quarterback on sleeper. And sometimes the list is there and it has all the quarterbacks in it. But now I'm not seeing them pop up here on now. So I don't know if that's part of it. I apologize to everybody if that's the reason why, but I'm just trying to find him at this point. There we go.
Nah, they're
I
staying.
guess I'll go Zach Wilson over.
They
I don't know.
completely missed. They completely missed it with Superflex. Some of them are saying.
Ah, man. Yeah, it's there in the title, guys. I'm telling them I set it to 2 QB, but sometimes I don't know. It gets messed up with the list, the player list. It resets.
Oh, okay. We're going. I see. We're going straight. We're not wrapping around here.
No, we're going linear here, so it's back to the start again there.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Hey, interesting. That kind of threw me there for a second. Wasn't expecting it to come around that quick.
Yeah, these guys were ready. Mac Jones went right after me, which makes sense. I legitimately I wonder between Mac and Zach Wilson. I mean, do I want the guy who might be a better NFL passer, or do I want the Mahomes wannabe who, I mean, even some of the stuff he was saying on social media and then he deleted it, I guess. He was kind of smack talking. It's just like, dude, you're not the first one to do, circle around and throw across your body like in your pro day. I mean, come on, man.
It's funny how
You're
everybody
just
was.
a
That was funny and it's funny about it because I have some of my friends. They were saying the same. Oh, that was a great throw. So I started showing throws that I could just pull up all kinds of videos, and I'm like, okay, it ain't that big of a deal.
I do like the Rashad Bateman wide receiver 2 pick though. We got comments going in here down below. Everyone smack talking in the text chat and sleeper, but I do like the Bateman wide receiver 2. I can't hate on Pitts too much at 9. I've been saying I wouldn't take him top 10, but definitely not top 10, and probably not even in the first round if Bateman's there
Yeah,
behind
unless
him.
it's a tight end premium.
Even if it's tight end premium, I'm not taking him in the top 8. If it's a super flex, at least.
Yeah, but this is
It's
just a
just
rookie draft, though, correct?
say again.
This is rookie draft, so I feel comfortable taking him around there.
He's a tight end. I'm sorry. Everyone wants to immediately say he's going to be Kelsey, but I don't see anything about his profile that tells me he is actually going to be necessarily that good. I I'm
What if they
sorry. I've
What if they convert him to receiver? What's your thoughts on that?
Then I'm on board. Then he's like my wide receiver 3 or 4 or something.
Because
Um,
there's talks about it. I mean, when was the last time you seen that happen?
we haven't.
Now,
I
I
mean,
don't remember
it
if
was actually
Did Waller come out as a receiver? Do you know? I mean, he just picked up
maybe.
because he was a receiver in college.
Yeah, we've seen it the other
Oh,
way.
yeah, I got you. Yeah, I flipped there for a second. That's my fault.
No, you're right. We've seen it the other way for sure. And that is an interesting thing, but
Because I
I
actually
need to pay
think
attention. I'm actually on the pick now.
there's a receiver at Ohio State that they're thinking about moving him to tight end this year.
Actually, I pay attention here. Oh man, Chiba went right ahead of me. I do like him at this area a lot. All the good wide receivers mostly gone. Man, this is a tough spot. I mean, I picked 10. No, okay, no, it's not tough because this guy's still here. We're going Diami. Yeah, I'll take him probably wide receiver 6-ish. So over Tylen and yeah, over Waddle. Yeah, I like that.
Man, back up on me already.
Yeah. Well, you got Gainwell at the
Yeah,
201. I did want to
I,
come back and talk about that, but I'll let you think about your pick here. Right after me, Michael Carter, Trace Sermon. I mean, I guess those are solid picks, but it seems, I guess at the end of the second round, that's fair. And then at this point, you're just kind of going after whoever. Kylan Hill, that is who I do like more, I think, than Trace Sermon and Carter. But
I love Carter.
if
That's I was wishing was who would fall to me.
if either of those guys land in the right spot, they could be up for some decent volume, but I've been also looking. I keep telling people I'm gonna have my landing spot like matrix for rookies out, and I was looking at it the other night, and it is not great. There's like three good spots for running backs. Obviously Pittsburgh,
Yep.
Atlanta, and it starts getting really weak after that. I mean Jets, but
Miami.
yeah, but not even. I mean, kind of, but it's not a prime spot. But I think they were my fourth best spot. Yes, I think it was. I think it was Pittsburgh, Atlanta, and then Jets and Dolphins. But even the Dolphins, like I have different categories. I kind of try to systematize a little bit. And even with the Dolphins, it wasn't a starter role. It was going to be a committee kind of workload. Um, and so that's why they slipped down to fourth, even if I like that offense.
I'd really like to see
So
Trey Sermon go to Pittsburgh.
Trace, yeah, because he is a solid back, but he's not one of these top tier guys for
No,
sure.
but
So you went Gainwell at 201 though. I did want to circle back on
yeah,
that.
go ahead.
Did do you like him as a fourth? I mean, I can't hate him as a fourth, but do you think he's actually gonna do much here in the NFL?
You know what? He's gonna be like one of those 1A, 1B kind of running back system and everything, and it just depends on the situation that he gets put in. I mean, I mean, to me overall, after those top three, Carter is who I like as the fourth overall option. But obviously, he went before. No, actually, that's right. I totally messed up on not even thinking about Carter. I just saw Gaineswell there, so just don't throw that for what it is. But Gainwell is right after Carter for me and Trey Sermon.
Okay, I would have Gainwell before those guys.
Yeah.
And then I'm kind of bouncing between Chuba or Gainwell as my fourth right now, I think. Um, Jamar's pro day really dropped him. He was going as rookie running back 4 or 5, and now he's down what 5, 8, 9. Wow.
Yeah.
J Mike's in on the stream here asking on YouTube, who do I want to leave every rookie draft with? Man, I would say Bateman, but he's kind of one of those you have to be in the right spot to get him. So as far as a later pick here, Tamara and Terry just went a little bit a while ago, so that is somebody I really like getting. 3-7. That's a little bit more respect than I've seen on him lately, so that's good. Good for him. I've seen him in late third, middle fourth in the past, so maybe people are starting to finally catch on.
I
We
think for
got finally
me,
another quarterback.
I would
What's that?
say Terrence Marshall is someone who I want to leave drafts with if I have the opportunity.
Yeah, he's probably going to be in my top 5 wide receivers. He went 5 for us. I would take him before Waddle though, but I think I'm going Rondale Moore before him. To me, it's really Devonta Smith or Terrace Marshall is my toss up. Like that's what I'm in the middle of trying to figure out for my ranks. Um, we got Kellen Mond going right before me. I'm on the clock now. I got to figure out. So I might, J Mike, I might be answering your question right here. Somebody I've been hearing a lot of good things about, and in the third, I don't mind taking a shot at running backs. Um, there's a couple of running backs I was looking at that I was hoping would do stuff in their pro days and show me that they meet some thresholds, but they really didn't. But this guy did, and I might have to start taking him seriously, even though I didn't have him as high as others did. But those guys knew stuff I didn't. Elijah Mitchell,
Mitchell.
very fast guy. She Smith went right after. I feel like the depth of the wide receivers is kind of drying up here after you get past Williams, Seth Williams, and Tony and Tamara and Terry. From here on out, it's a complete crapshoot.
It is. I like this player right here, though. Been hearing a lot of buzz about him. I really need to do some more in-depth, uh, analyst on him. Rogers, is that Mari Rogers? Correct. I've been hearing a lot of
Yeah,
buzz.
kind of a slot guy, right?
Yep. Can't say
Definitely a
too
role
much about him.
player, but
I just hear a lot of buzz.
there's another guy I kind of like that. We'll see if he slips to me here. There's a lot to go. I like the Javian Hawkins, kind of a betweener, but if he can also get some receiving work, he could almost be kind of a Woodhead kind of guy. He's really quick, finds holes. Khalil Herbert's another one. He's a little bit of an older guy because transferring, but tested out very well. But I'm someone who likes to see production more than the metrics. Like the athleticism, there's thresholds, yes. Like you got to check some boxes, but I want to see the production numbers. I want to see that you did it. And some of those guys don't have it.
Yeah, and it's just so tough this year. I mean, unless you go back and watch like last 2 year games and everything, it's just hard to judge what's going on at these pro days.
Going back to the third round there, we had Kyle Trask and Kellen Mond, this kind of third class of quarterbacks. I wonder if the one of those guys isn't going to seriously pay off for somebody taking him late. I love that they took him where they did. Credit to you two guys. Okay, J Mike's correcting me. It's Shy Smith. Sorry, J Mike. Appreciate it. But J Mike, is it Tylen or is it Tillin?
Tilling.
Yeah. So I don't know. I've heard people say both. Yeah, in the chat, sleeper chat, guys are saying they love like the top 24, 26 picks, but after that, it kind of falls apart.
I think that's
And
what everybody's saying.
and yet at that, it's always like that. And yet this year, because of how pro days have all been spread out, and it's hard to even get all the data together. I'm trying to follow guys like Jim Nagy on Twitter and type in all this data and stuff so I can just get it into my models. And it sucks. And so I wonder if that's contributing to why it's so hard to figure out people past the third, fourth round, because it's so uncertain. We don't even have solid data on some of these guys.
Yeah, especially with some of them sitting out this past year. They were higher prospects last year, and now you just got to go based off of that and what their pro days are showing.
All right, there we go. That's why I don't set it for auto, because sometimes people time out and then a couple seconds later they actually do pick. So luckily he was able to jump in. Dwayne Eskridge was a guy like is a senior that got talked about, and but a lot of people don't really like him, and I've looked into it and I can understand why, but you can't hate it this late. Jarrett Patterson, that's a guy I was wondering. I figured would go ahead. He is a smaller guy, but he's a pure runner. I was corrected by Zach on my podcast, Dynasty Dummy, Zach Reed, that he is not a pass catcher, at least didn't do it stats wise in college much at all, even though he is a 5'9" guy. He was just a little, cannonball. Dang it, Byron. That's the guy I was saying I wanted to slip to me. Okay, Anthony Schwartz. I would take him before even Amari Rogers and Nico Collins and Shy Smith. One of these super fast guys, but hey, I'll take a chance on that rather than something else. All right, fine. I'm gonna have to go with. I don't even have this guy's data in to really see how he fits in my models, but he showed some stuff and he has production. I do know. I've looked it up. We'll go with Roundtree. We'll see. It's just a shot in the dark here. He lands somewhere. Someone gets injured. Next thing you know, he's getting time. All I can hope for. There's not really any. I mean, when I was doing my stuff last year, my prep for my model and so on, James Robinson did actually pop, and I was looking at it. And I was like, okay, who's this guy and why is he popping up? And then he didn't even get drafted, so that completely screwed up my my rankings and everything, and so he ended up falling. So I was behind on him. I didn't stand my ground on it, but at the same time, that allowed me to be an early adopter when Fournette was released, because I had seen what I was looking at early in the process. I was able to say, don't discount this James Robinson guy. And I was saying, go get him. I wasn't drafting him, though, even in fifth rounds. So I don't know. Is there anyone like that you think this year that that you're looking at that you love in these fifth rounds? Puka just went. It was between Roundtree and Puka for me.
Yeah, not really. It's gonna get to those point. I mean, a lot of the leagues I'm in, it's only like 3, 4 rounds. So, it's one of these people going on those fifth rounds. Those are the players that once the season starts and you start seeing where these rookies are falling in on teams, you pick them up on free agency. So this is actually the first mock draft that I've done a fifth round on.
And I'll be honest, there's a couple. I'm really not happy with Sleeper right now. Sleeper, come on, fix it. There's a number of rookies that are not showing up in their lists that I would have taken. It would have been close at my pick, and I definitely would take them here at my upcoming pick. And I know a number of people would probably be already taking them here too. So it really stinks. When we were doing mock drafts with some of the guys like Undroppables and Totes Titles, we were able to say like, hey, this is a placeholder for this guy. I was
Yeah,
able to fix it, post, but you saw that. You know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to say names yet because no one's, or
yeah.
maybe I should
They had
because
his
people
picture
could be
on there.
picking them. Yeah, it's Jalen Darden, okay, Jaquan Hardy. These are guys, and then I don't even think Stevie Scott is in the system, even though he clearly declared back in January. I just don't know why some of these guys aren't on here. So,
Thought I saw
um,
on here.
if somebody wants to say something in chat, take one of these guys. I should have said something before. Yeah, Jalen Darden. What did I say? I probably should. I said something else, I guess. Yeah, but Jalen Darden, Jaquan Hardy, Stevie Scott. Those are three I know of off the top of my head that weren't in here. Yeah, it's disappointing.
Yeah, they sure
Yeah, I
isn't.
don't know why Sleeper doesn't have them.
You would think that
Ty, let's see.
they
J
will.
Mike's telling me it's Ty Len, but I've specifically seen someone say it's Tillin, like Dylan. So I don't know, Mike. I don't know, J Mike.
Let me
Maybe it
look
is
at.
she. No, you're right. It's probably Shy Smith. That makes more sense. All right, we're dragging here, guys. This guy timed out last time. We'll see. We'll see what he says. Wasn't he the one who was like in a hurry to start too? It's always the guys who are in a hurry to start that disappear at the end. Just
Yep,
how it is, I guess.
yep.
Oh well. We'll give him a chance to time out here. So, what do you think of the teams here, Rich? What do we think?
All right.
Obviously, your team is amazing. We know, but who else? Who else has a decent pick?
Um, Based off of the first 3 rounds I'm looking at, I like your team too. Man, it's gonna be more of like I do like what is that, fourth team overall with the Trey Lance, Rondell Moore, and Jamar Jefferson. Even him falling to the third round is still a good solid pickup.
Let's see where. Oh, the fourth, J Mike's. Yeah, J
Yeah,
Mike's got Lance Moore. I like the Moore pick. He slipped to him. In my eyes, 2-4 Rondell Moore at the 204 is an awesome value. We were saying how Jamar Jefferson has slipped, but still 3-4. That's still a value. I think he still
yeah,
has upside.
I agree.
I'm on the clock. I have no idea who I'm supposed to take. Man. Yeah, I mean, obviously missing at
Team number
least
2 is
three
solid too.
players. Number
Uh,
three.
Team number 2 with Fields, Waddle, and the tight end Pat, and picking up Hawkins in the fourth round. I mean, even
Yeah.
Puka Williams, just like what you're talking about. Later on running back stuff like that, but it's not bad.
I don't mind the Fryermuth pick either. He's probably my tight end two here. He has better production numbers than Kyle Pitts. I mean, everyone loves Kyle Pitts, but I'm like, if we're looking at just production numbers, Fryermuth's is better. So you're combining the athleticism numbers and with that saying how good he is, but I don't know, like
I almost feel like
so.
always talk about Kyle Pitt, um, Tampa Bay's tight end that they drafted. Who was that? That was gosh dang, I can't even think of his name now. rookie tight end they drafted 2 years ago.
Which team? I missed it.
Tampa Bay.
I mean, they've had a bunch of really high, sleeper fantasy community guys like Justin Watson and Godwin even for a while there, and
No, the
maybe
tight
a
end from
Tyler.
there. Tight end.
The Thailand.
Tight end. Can't think of his name. When he was coming out,
Talking about
I mean,
OJ
I remember.
Howard. Yeah, J Mike
Yeah,
said
there you go.
OJ Howard.
OJ
Okay.
Howard. I mean, when he was coming out, I mean, everybody was hyping him
Yeah.
up just as much, And what has
Yeah.
he done?
And he started to look decent, and then he got injured last year, and he had Tom Brady throwing to him. And we thought, okay, maybe this is a good thing. Then he got injured, and then Gronk finally got into form, and so it's just hard. It's hard for tight ends, and so that's why I just can't be on board with Kyle Pitts before. I mean, maybe late first, but I can't do it as early as some of these people are taking them. It's ridiculous. I can't do it. Looking back, even some of the best tight end prospects have not paid off being worth that in the first few years.
Yeah, prime example,
Vernon
Kelsey.
Davis. Well, Kelsey got injured his first year. He played like one part of one game and then missed the rest of the season. He produced his first full year. Absolutely, he did. But there's nothing about Kelsey's profile that would make you think he is this elite tight end like people are looking at Kyle Pitts' profile and projecting him to that. And so that's what always gets me is people look at the profiles of the Vernon Davises and the Kyle Pitts and project them to be amazing, but that's not who's been amazing. When we look at the tight ends that have been amazing, there's nothing about their profile that would have told us that. Gronk's amazing production numbers, athleticism, size, all that, decent. Kelsey, depending on how you spin his production numbers, decent but not amazing. Decent athleticism, comes in the NFL right spot, and he's a number one tight end.
Yeah,
for 5 years straight.
And Vernon Davis, I mean, he didn't really even produce his fourth season.
Fourth season, exactly.
Yeah.
He took 3 seasons to really take off, and so Kyle Pitts could easily see a couple seasons before he really blows up, and it's going to matter about landing spot and so many other things. But hey, I did a whole stream. If you want to hear about Kyle Pitts, just check this same YouTube channel. I did a couple videos back, half hour talking about tight ends. I'm not going to talk about it here. Let's talk about these rookies. You were saying you liked the second and fourth teams.
Yes.
I do like those guys. I like, despite the fact that AWS Sabermetrics skipped out on the quarterback, missed that it was Superflex. Despite that, I do like who he got. Rashad Bateman and Elijah Moore at the 8th spot. That's very nice. And then that, taking a chance on Kyle Trask. Don't hate that. Daz Newsom's one of these fast guys. He and Anthony Schwartz are kind of two peas in a pod there going late. And I'm not familiar at all with Warren Jackson. I'm not. Do you know anything about him?
No.
So, I was kind of just throwing dice here. Deion Jackson with my 5th pick. I definitely would have taken one of those other names like a Stevie Scott instead. Stevie Scott's very much in kind of the same mold as a Larry Roundtree, kind of bigger guy, decent production, but also has some receiving. That's something I was talking about with Zach Reed when he was on the podcast about how I think there's a lot of upside with these guys that are shoo-ins to get regular rushing first and second down volume, but also can catch. And so often we've been excited about chasing these guys who can catch the ball, and the also is also if they can get some first and second down work. But it seems to me that's been far less likely to actually happen. And it's far more likely that the guy who's in there in first and second down will end up staying in for third down and getting passes than the guy who only goes out there for third suddenly getting thrown out in first and second. I mean, that's a very general, broad way of saying it. I understand. But just think about James Robinson. He had good receiving. That's actually how he popped in my model. but that's not how everyone was thinking about him just because of his profile, his size. He was a shorter, heavier guy, but he was solid, but he had good hands. And that's what I saw. And that's what turned me on to him. Like I said, wasn't, hey, I wasn't up there planting a flag on him, but I was quick to adopt him because of what I saw. Um, and you think about even seasons like Carlos Hyde wasn't known as anything. But what happens when he's in the right situation where suddenly he's getting that first and second down work and then he's getting all these dump off passes? I don't know, maybe that was too far back to people to remember, but remember when Carlos Hyde had like a 60 reception season in San Francisco, his last season
Yeah,
there?
that's where I was thinking
Because
with that.
Bethard was just dropping him dump offs one after another. And he has an amazing season. And I'd rather chase something like that than get disappointed time and time again by the Duke Johnsons and the, what is his name, Justice Hill, right? And I'm wondering if the NFL isn't going to slowly start figuring that out. So that's why I'm going after the Roundtrees and Stevie Scott's. Elijah Mitchell is one of those. Is not that though. He's the other end of it. Kylan Hill, you took Kylan Hill. He is the one that I think fits this. He's shown receiving ability, but he's a solid guy. He's not big, is he? But
No,
he is heavy. He's
no, he's
solid.
not. Um,
As
he,
as Peter Howard said, he's thick or something like that. What did Peter say?
yeah, he's kind of died off though. I mean, I don't think he had that great of a pro day, if I remember correctly, and the buzz has kind of died off on him. But I kind of like that because I think he'll fit well in the NFL. You know,
Yeah, and it's
5'11", 209.
oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's the
Yeah,
new NFL running back. And I was against that years ago, looking at Ronald Jones coming up and criticizing him for being only 205. Obviously, the criticism was his receiving hands more than anything. But that's more and more the NFL. It used to be you wanted 210, 215. No, I'm okay with as long as you break 200, you
yeah.
can be a full down back. So I like that. And that was you took Gainwell. He has upside. He put on weight for his pro day, right? 205 or something like that.
Yeah, but it cost him in speed, I think.
Yeah, he still was fast. And it's funny because people talk about how he's going to play. He's going to lose weight in training camp, and they don't play at these weights. We
Correct.
understand that, but you can't. You can compare everyone's off-season weight and understand that they're all going to be less when they play.
Yeah, see,
What you
he's
can't do is compare somebody saying, "Well, I played at this weight," and saying, "Oh, well, that's okay then that he's in the off season this weight because this guy who was in the pros say that he played at this weight." No, because you have to understand that off season weight's going to go down.
yeah. And once he starts getting active and stuff like that, unless he puts on ton of muscle and stuff like that, I mean, he even break 200 for pro day his weight because he was
Which
under
who we're talking
200.
about?
Gainwell.
I thought he was like 205, 206
Okay,
on his
so he
pro
did
day.
get
I
up there.
thought
So
I'd have to pull it up. I don't even know if I have that in my profiler. Um, yeah, so I like Gainwell. He does have upside, obviously, because he has that receiving ability. So if a team drafts him and is willing to get him some early down ability, he's that satellite plus,
yeah,
but more and more, I'm more pessimistic about chasing the pluses, and just give me a solid guy who also has shown to catch 20 balls, and hope that he lands in a spot where he can run the ball and then get some receiving work too.
no,
I'd rather chase that at this point. Let's see here for Gainwell's.
I mean, I'm trying to see how many pass catches he had. Where's it at?
I don't have Gainwell's results in my profiler yet for some reason. I know they were out there, but I must not have been able to find a confirmation from like Jim Nagy or something like that. I know there was a bunch of debate about whether he was 5'8" or 5'11". He is 5'8".
Got them
I mean,
listed at
he's
5'11".
yeah, no, he was 5'8". But he did get over that 200, I think. But it may have cost him some speed, like you said.
He had 51 receptions for 610 yards last year.
Yeah. I like this 107 team. We got Javonte Williams, who I do think is overrated, to be honest. But if he has a good landing spot and the seventh pick isn't reaching too badly, um, hey, running backs are running backs, and they get opportunity. That's all they need. So, but I like the Amon Ra and the Tamarian Terry and the Jarrett Patterson picks on top of that, and so that's what overall I liked his draft as a whole.
Yeah, Brown. I mean, he looked quick too, man. And at his pro day, I mean, he was breaking out real quick. I mean, he looked real good, to be honest with you. It just there ain't a lot of talk going on about him right now either. So
Well, Javante didn't produce as much as I'd like, but I know he was sharing a backfield with Michael Carter, and so I have to try and figure out how I'm gonna balance that. But it's not like his metrics, his athletic testing was amazing either. I mean, 4.58, 40. I mean, that's okay. I'm not one of these 40 elitists, but okay, that's decent. But it's not going to raise him up. It's not going to change anything. It just that's a threshold. I want you under 4.6 for the most part. I mean, I compared him to Miles Gaskin because he was basically the same height and the same 40, 4.58. But Gaskin isn't as heavy. He's not going to play as heavy as Javante. Um, but Gaskin's production numbers in college were better.
yeah,
So, but he wasn't sharing a backfield.
yeah.
Um, I don't know anything else
I'm,
you
t-
wanted
I'm
to say here.
God,
We'll
I
let we'll
can't
let
believe I
people get
passed
out of
up
here.
Carter, man.
I it seemed perfectly reasonable to me. So, you must really like Michael Carter. So that's good.
I really do. He's gonna you know just I go back to running back A and B, and a lot of this is just going to depend on where they fall and stuff like that. Because if you go back to last year with running backs drafted last year, as soon as Ceh Hilaire when he was drafted, what was everybody? Oh, perfect fit, perfect fit, perfect fit. But man, it just didn't really work out too well for him for the whole season overall.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna pull this over here. Looking at Gainwell and Carter. I don't have that imported yet here. Their pro day information, but um, I mean, I would take a chance on Gainwell either. You see down here how much he's involved overall and in receiving game. And then I have my weighted opportunities there, which counts every 2.6 rush attempts as one opportunity, and
Hmm.
every target is one opportunity. Or in this college one, unfortunately, I only have it as a reception being an opportunity. Um, so he did pretty well in that. Scrimmage yards per touch, both good. Michael Carter had the earlier breakout age, though.
Yeah, 2 solid seasons, man.
People love to get all on him about how he basically was holding off Antonio Gibson, right? So, I mean, that's interesting, but at the same time, I have a list of Memphis running backs, and it's pretty spotty. It's
Gibson was a
actually
receiver, was he not?
he bounced around. That's the thing. He was a running back, but he was also a receiver. Yeah, so he was one of those tweeners.
Yeah.
But people were saying that's why he didn't get opportunity at running back was because of Kenneth Gainwell. But you go back to this list of Memphis running backs, and it's not pretty. It's not pretty. That was one of the things I had against Gibson. The only thing that saved him was that he wasn't being used. But let's go all the way back. What we got, like Donnell Pumphrey. Yeah, I drafted him in one of my first dynasty leagues I was in. It was like my second year in dynasty leagues or something, and yeah, Donnell Pumphrey, not good, not good. What Rashad Penny, Henderson Jr. Right?
Yeah,
All these guys are Memphis guys, and they put up these numbers, but I don't know.
kind of
Well,
lines
Gainwell
up
seems to
with.
have. Who was that?
I said it kind of lines up with all the numbers Alabama quarterbacks put up, and what happens there once they reach the NFL.
Okay. Or the Ohio right now the it's the Ohio State quarterbacks everyone likes hating on right now.
Yeah,
Supposedly that's why, which doesn't make sense. So you do have to view each of these situations, each of these players, individually. But man, I don't know. I have a hard time. The thing that Gainwell does have is that receiving work, and so that is a credit to him beyond what those other guys were doing in the run game with the ridiculous yards per carry that like Henderson and others have had. That is obviously at some point, yeah, the player is good, but at some point you got to say it's the system too. Um,
it's
but
always the system.
But if Gainwell's got something that even those other ones didn't have in the receiving game, then I do have to give him credit for that. So I'm still going to be struggling about him with where he's my running back 4 or 5. I'm in the middle of trying to finalize some rankings, get those out. So everyone out there who's listening, keep an eye out that fusionffb.com. I just had, like I said, if you're interested in our talking about pits and you want to dig into that more, a couple videos back on this channel, I talked about that in depth. Used that little rookie vision tool you saw just a moment ago. That's at fusionffb.com, and go to the tools page, and it's there, the rookie vision tool. More updates to that with the pro days as I can get it finalized and confirmed that Gainwell's 5'8", not 5'11", things like that. So all right, Richard, what do you got from me? Anything?
No, man, I'm good. I appreciate you doing this last second. I was getting a little bored. Me and my son were watching movies together, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna pause this."
Well, sorry to pull you away then. Thanks for hopping on with me. Slow Saturday night, apparently. Hope people have better things to do, apparently. That's good for them, I guess.
It is the 10th, so
Yeah, I know. I thought hype would start getting going here, but I guess we got another week or two till it really gets going all the way.
give about another week and a half, and it's really gonna start picking up.
Yeah. Well, I
For
was
sure.
joking because I was like, well, what am I going to do? A mock draft or actual, thoughtful analysis work that no one's going to see. We did a Superflex startup a couple weeks ago, and I got more views on that than like anything I've ever gotten. Then I do a Kyle Pitts like deep dive, and it's getting not even a tenth of the views.
Yeah, same with Toilets Tyler. We had a mock draft. What was it, 3 weeks ago, and views are like crazy and stuff like that. And it just went like what you're saying when you start breaking down analysts for individual players and stuff like that. It just you don't get them right now.
All right. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed this one then. There you go. It's in the books. I'll keep doing that. Go ahead and check out fusionffb.com, at fusionffb on Twitter. Check out Richard here, R. Gonzalez M.
RM.
RM. I was going to say, it's a little tiny font here. I got to get my eyes checked.
Yeah,
All right, guys.
AKA Frito Bandito.
That's it. That's how I know you, Frito Bandito. I always get tripped up then having to call you Richard. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.
Appreciate it.